Hey guys, what's up? It's TDRP Cubing here, and today I'm going to be unboxing the cubes I got for Christmas, as well as a couple others. These are all very exciting cubes, and I honestly can't wait to try each of them out. Alright, and so for the first cube, we have the Rubik's Christmas tree, which is a lot like the Z Christmas tree, which I already have. So, let's get into first turns. Alright, turns pretty well. In fact, it turns about as well as I would hope for it to. And so yeah, this is a pretty simple cube, so I'm gonna go ahead and scramble it up and try a quick solve on it. Alright, now it's all scrambled up, let's go ahead and solve it in 3, 2, 1, go. Alright, so yeah, this is a pretty cool puzzle, and I want to give a quick thank you to my mom who got this for me. Alright, and so heading on to the next couple of cubes, we have the Cyclone Boys metallic cubes. These are a lot like the Rubik's metallic, but they're actually magnetic, so I definitely can't wait to try them out. And so for the first one, we of course have the 2x2. Alright, so here the cube is. It's actually looking really cool, so let's get into first turns. Well, it's a bit catchy, as you can see, but other than that, it turns pretty well. It's certainly not the best 2x2 I've ever tried, but considering the fact that it's metallic, it's still pretty cool. The magnets are pretty strong, but yeah, I would say this is a pretty decent speed cube, and so now I'm gonna go ahead and try a speed solve on it. So let's go ahead and scramble this thing up. Alright, so now that the cube's all scrambled up, I'm gonna go ahead and try speed solving it in 3, 2, 1, go. Oh, well that was pretty easy. That was definitely a pretty lucky solve there, but other than that, this is a pretty cool cube. It's definitely not the best, as it does lock up quite a bit, but it still turns pretty well. And so now let's go ahead and move on to the 3x3. Alright, so moving on, we of course have the Cyclone Boys metallic 3x3. This one came with a pamphlet, and of course the cube. Alright, here the cube is, so let's get into first turns. Wow. So right off the bat, this one is already way better than the 2x2. This one's turning is surprisingly nice. Oh, well, just got a corner twist. And the magnet strength is definitely weaker than the 2x2, but I would still say it's pretty nice. And yeah, this is a really cool cube. It definitely turns a lot better than the Rubik's one does. And so now I'm gonna go ahead and scramble this thing up and try a speed solve on this one. So let's do just that. Alright, so now that the cube's all scrambled up, let's go ahead and try speed solving it in 3, 2, 1, go. Alright, that time definitely didn't feel too bad, but I'm sure it wasn't amazing. But yeah, like I said, this is a really cool cube, and I'm very happy that it turns as well as it does. And I definitely love to do some sort of relay with all these metallic cubes at some point. I think that would be really fun. And so heading on to the last of the metallic cubes, we have the Cyclone Boys metallic 4x4. I definitely can't wait to try this thing out. So it looks like this one came with a couple of pamphlets as well as a screwdriver. Alright, so here the cube is, so let's get into first turns. Not bad. A little bit worse than the 3x3, but about the same as the 2x2. The inner layers turn pretty well, and this is definitely the weakest magnet strength of any of them, but the inner layers do have stronger magnets. But yeah, this is a pretty decently turning cube. And so now, just like the last two, I'm gonna go ahead and scramble this thing up and try a quick solve on it. Alright, so now the cube's all scrambled up, let's go ahead and give it a quick solve. Alright, and so yeah, each of these metallic cubes was really cool, and I'm super glad to own all of them. Like I said earlier, I definitely love to do some sort of relay with each of these, and so yeah, these are pretty cool. So thank you to my family who got these for me, I truly appreciate it. So heading on to the next couple of cubes, we actually have some that I bought for myself. I just decided I'd save them for the next unboxing video, so that's why I'm opening them now. And so heading on to the first one, we have the Rubik's Crystal. This cube has actually been out for quite a while now, and it's a lot like the transparent 3x3 that I already have, so I can't wait to try it out. Alright, here's the cube, so let's get into first turns. Okay, it's not that bad. I mean, its turning isn't great, but it's not terrible either. It's honestly just a bit tight, but I'm not all too worried about it. The corner cutting is pretty mediocre. But yeah, this is a pretty cool cube, and I really like the design of the whole thing. And so now I'm gonna go ahead and scramble this thing up and try a quick speed solve on it. So let's begin. Alright, so now the cube's all scrambled up, let's go ahead and try speed solving it in 3, 2, 1, go. Alright, so the time definitely didn't feel too great, but I'm sure it wasn't completely awful. But yeah, this cube's turning is certainly not the best, but I still think it's a pretty cool puzzle, and so I'm really glad to own it. And so heading on to the next cube, we have this Disney 100th Anniversary 3x3. This cube looks really cool, so I definitely can't wait to try it out. So it looks like this cube came with this pretty nice pamphlet, which seems to have all the images that are on each of the sides. And so with that being said, let's go ahead and try this thing out. Alright, its turning is just about the same as the Rubik's Crystal, and I would say that considering what this cube is, that's pretty good. So on each of the sides we have this 100th anniversary logo, Elsa, Woody, Mickey Mouse, Simba, and of course Snow White. Or at least I hope that's Snow White. And so yeah, this is a pretty cool cube, so I'm gonna go ahead, give it a quick scramble, and try to solve it. Alright, let's begin. Alright, and so yeah, like I said, this is a really cool cube, and I'm super glad that I now own it. In fact, the way that I even got this cube was in a mall that's a couple hours away from where I live, so I'm definitely super lucky to have found this. And so, heading on to the last and final cube for this video, we have the Yuxin Petaminx. This cube was such a big surprise for me, and I honestly had no idea I'd be getting it, especially since the Yuxin version is pretty new. Wow. So it looks like it came with a towel as well as a cube stand. Alright, so here the puzzle is. So let's get into first turns. Alright, it's definitely not bad. All the layers seem to turn pretty evenly, and as you may be able to see, I'm already starting to get some lube on the outside, so it's a good thing it came with the towel. The more I turn this cube, the better it's seeming to get, so I'm pretty sure the lube just hasn't broken in yet, which would explain why it's starting to get on the outside. But yeah, this is a really cool cube, and it's actually a bit smaller than I expected it to be. So if I just do a quick size comparison with the 8x8 Petaminx, as you can see, it's quite a bit smaller, but that actually fares well for me since that means it'll probably be a bit easier to turn. And so yeah, this is a really cool cube, and definitely look forward to seeing me do a solve video of this at some point in the future. I'm not entirely sure when that'll be, but I certainly can't wait for it to happen because this cube looks really fun to solve. And so yeah, once again, I want to give a big thank you to all of my family who got me these cubes. I really couldn't have expected to get any of these, so I am very grateful for that. And so with that being said, that's just about it. So that, guys, was the video. I hope you all enjoyed it. If you have any questions, then make sure to ask them down in the comments below. Besides that, have a good day and bye. See you next time.